Hello, I'm David Hope. Welcome to beautiful Northwest Alabama. We call it the Shoals. This metropolitan area is actually made up of 4 cities in 2 counties. Florence, where we are now, in Lauderdale County, and Muscle Shoals, Sheffield, and Tuscumbia, just across the Tennessee River in Colbert County. But wherever you find yourself, the Shoals has an incredible history. Our buildings and property and people have a very interesting past that we all share. Much of it is documented on historical markers. We see them everywhere. We drive or walk by them every day. Yet, because we're always in a hurry to get somewhere else, we rarely take the time to stop and learn how we got here and who and what came before us. So for the next few minutes, we're going to take a tour of our beautiful area, and those historical markers are going to be our tour guides. So come on, let's find out what there is to know about Florence and the Shoals, as together, you and I take a minute and read the sign. When you take a walk down Walnut Street, you leave the hustle and bustle of our present day behind and drift back to a time and place where things moved just a little slower. Neighbors left their doors open, and if you listen, you just might hear a friendly voice inviting you to come up on the front porch, sit a spell, and have a tall glass of lemonade. The land was originally owned by Ferdinand Sinoner, the Italian surveyor who designed the city of Florence in 1818 for the Cypress Land Company. Walnut Street began as a residential area during the national economic boom of the 1880s and 1890s, and continued its development through the 1920s. Industries and businesses grew in Florence, and the population increased dramatically. The first resident of Walnut Street was a doctor. The second, a newspaper editor. Some of the most important people in town built their homes right here, and for good reason. From where I'm standing, we're just a couple of blocks from downtown. It was nice to be able to walk to work. Over 100 years later, some people still do. Walnut Street was a typical residential neighborhood, and it remains intact today. The 28 original homes that make up this beautiful area reflect the changes in architectural styles from the 1890s Victorian to the 1920s bungalow. Unlike many places, the people on Walnut Street know and enjoy the company of their neighbors. You can find folks visiting on front porches or up and down the sidewalks almost any time. But don't let the serenity of this old place fool you. The folks on Walnut Street like to party. Weather permitting, they've been known to throw a shindig right out in the middle of the street. Some of the residents of Walnut Street are descendants of those who originally established the neighborhood. Others are enthusiastic newcomers who are attracted to its historical significance and its southern graciousness. Walnut Street has been honored with a listing in the National Register of Historic Places. Like I said, just your typical residential neighborhood. Well, not hardly. Strolling down these lovely old sidewalks makes us realize this truly is a special place. So, the next time you find yourself in downtown Florence, mosey on over to Walnut Street. Let your mind drift to a time gone by. Take a minute. Read the sign. I'll see you next time, somewhere in the Shoals. There is a story that goes, sometime during his adult life, world-renowned architect Frank Lloyd Wright was called to court to testify concerning some matter. And when they asked him to state his name and occupation, he replied, "I am Frank Lloyd Wright, the greatest architect in the entire world." Fairly narcissistic, wouldn't you say? Later, a friend of his asked him, "Frank, why did you feel the need to tack on the greatest architect in the entire world?" Well, Wright simply responded, "I couldn't help it. I was under oath to tell the truth." Well, now that's a very interesting story. But what has that got to do with us? Well, this. I am standing in the Rosenbaum house. This is the only structure in the entire state of Alabama that has been designed by the greatest architect in the entire world, Frank Lloyd Wright. Wright was commissioned to design the home by Louis Rosenbaum as a wedding present to his son Stanley and his bride Mildred. The original cost of the home was $7,000. Wouldn't buy you a good used car nowadays. Nevertheless, as construction began, that price quickly ballooned to over $15,000. Built in 1940, originally the house was 1,500 square feet with 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. Some of its unique design elements include recessed lighting, clear story windows, and heated concrete floors, which was accomplished by running hot water through tubing beneath the flooring. The house was expanded in 1948 when the Rosenbaums called on Wright to design an addition to accommodate their growing family of boys. This piano, which was owned by Mildred, who was a concert pianist, was the only thing they brought with them when they moved in. The rest of the furniture, every bit of it, was designed by Wright himself, and the Rosenbaums were under contract with him to keep that furniture in this house for 40 years. The story goes that after that time period was up, Stanley, who was a professor at the University of North Alabama, walked into his classroom one day and announced, "I'm throwing it all out on the street. If you want it, come and get it." What a great find for a yard sale. This Usonian-designed Frank Lloyd Wright masterpiece is completely unique. You won't find another one like it anywhere. If you want to see it, you have to come to Florence. The home is open for touring Tuesdays through Sundays, and it is well worth your time. One other thing. For obvious reasons, this home is listed in the National Register of Historic Places. I'll see you next time. Welcome to Brawley Stadium, home of the NCAA Division II National Football Championship game. Locally, it also happens to be the home of the University of North Alabama Lions. The school has a long history of football success, winning several Gulf South Conference championships and appearing many times in the Division II NCAA National Championship playoffs. It's quiet now, but on several Saturdays each fall, this place comes alive. And during one particular period of time between 1993 and 1995, the shout of "Roar, Lions, Roar" could be heard for miles around. And indeed, they did roar. During that period, the University of North Alabama became the first school in NCAA history to win 3 consecutive national championships. They played each championship game on their home field. They set another national record by being ranked #1 for 27 consecutive weeks. From 1993 through 1995, the Lions won 41 games and lost only 1. They were the first school in NCAA history on any level to win more than 40 games in 3 years. Their offense was a powerhouse. Their defense was so feared, they became known as the Purple Swarm. No less than 10 players won various All-American awards, and linebacker Ronald McKinnon became the first defensive player to win the Harlan Hill Award, given to the best player in Division II. Harlan Hill was a former Lion himself. He was drafted by the Chicago Bears of the National Football League in 1954 and won the league's Rookie of the Year award. The following year, in 1955, he was the National Football League's most valuable player. The University of North Alabama has a tradition in football excellence. But for 3 years, from 1993 to 1995, head coach Bobby Wallace and his talented staff led this amazing team to be proclaimed the best ever. And nobody else can say that.